Good morning. I just got up and I thought I'd shoot a quick video of a very fast breakfast that I can do. I'm actually going to visit my mother-in-law at the hospital this morning and we decided we'd eat breakfast together. So this is going to be an on-the-go breakfast that I'm going to try to keep warm. We'll see. Might end up being lukewarm, but that's okay. This is for her. So first thing I want to do is turn on my pan to medium-high. Get that warming up. And I have just a piece of onion here that's I'm going to chop pretty small because I've said this before, I like to put onion in just about everything. I just feel like it gives it flavor and I just love onions. So there we go. See, lickety split just like that. They don't have to be teensy tiny. I don't like biting into a huge chunk, but because I'm in a rush this morning, I'm probably not being as careful maybe as I normally would. All right, so this is considered green. So I'm gonna put this in my green container. Here's what I love about these cutting boards. Just gonna go like that. I'm gonna bend it, just toss it in there. All right. What else can I fill this green cup with? I am going to grab my summer squash or yellow zucchini, whatever you like to call that. Chop that up. And of course toss out the end because that won't taste good in your mouth. And these actually can be in more of a cube because they cook very fast. So if I was to chop these up tiny, they may just turn into mush and I'd never even know they were in my dish. So you want to leave a little bit of size to these guys because otherwise they'll kind of disintegrate. All right, let's toss these in the green container. This is the contest of how much can I get in my green container. Okay, one more thing here for this particular green container, and that's my mushroom. So I'm going to chop that up. And that sometimes I slice it, sometimes I cube it. It just depends on my mood. I think today I'm going to cube. This is also something that I like biting into mushrooms, so I'm not going to cut it super small. Just a nice cube, almost the same size as the zucchini, because it'll probably cook about the same time. So about like that. Okay, let's see where we're at in our container. Okay, I have more mushroom than I can fit in my container, but that's okay, because I'm gonna actually eat 2 green containers this morning, because I haven't even had my Shakeology yet. And normally I have my Shakeology first thing. So I'm gonna drink my Shakeology on the way there, and I'm just gonna skip the vegetable part of mine this morning and then just eat double the vegetables in my morning dish. All right, so I'm gonna go grab my spinach. Hang on a second. Spinach, where are you? All right, here we go. Don't ask me how this could hide from me because it's huge, but anyway. Honestly, I had a bag that I was going to finish, but I gave up because I'm on camera. All right. I'm going to stuff this green container. Remember, if the lid can go on, it's okay. So with spinach, because it pretty much just disappears, I like to stuff it pretty darn full. So I think we're good. The lid would still go on there, so I think we're good. All right. I'm actually not going to toss that in my bowl because with spinach, you want to throw that in at the last second. So I'm actually going to pull it all out now that it's measured. Look at how much fit in there. Is that beyond crazy? That is beyond crazy. All right, I can feel the heat coming off my pan, so we're getting there. We are making progress. I'm going to use one of my teaspoons this morning to have some olive oil in the pan. And of course, in the moment, I don't find my real teaspoon. This is, to me, seems bigger than a measuring teaspoon, so I'm not going to fill it. So. And if you hear scratching, that's the dogs. I have wood floors and they clickety-clack, so I put them out, but now they're having a little fit because they want to come back in. That's okay, they can wait. All right. While that oil heats up in the pan, the next thing I'm going to get going is my potato, because that's going to take quite a while. But I have a trick. I cut it really, really small for mornings like today when I'm in a bit of a rush. and I don't have a lot of time to wait for my potato to cook, so these are going to be cubed pretty small. And notice I took one potato. One of those small yellow potatoes fits into this container. I have tested it. I kind of know what to look for, but a lot of times I'll throw it in there just to make sure my eyeballs aren't deceiving me, because you know what? Sometimes we want something so much that we're like, oh yeah, that should be about right. But really, you stuck it in your container, you go, oh, well, maybe I was being a little too generous to myself. And you know, that stuff does count. It's okay once in a while to eyeball something, but if you're constantly eyeballing, that's where you get yourself into a bit of trouble. So let's just toss it in here and see if I was right. And you know what? Here's an instance where I actually wasn't. It's not all gonna fit in there. Look at that, I got a little extra. So this may seem terrible to some people, but I'm gonna throw it away. It's only that much potato, and I'd rather it was in my garbage can than on my hips. So toss it away. All right, this seems to be going. I'm gonna actually start with the potatoes first, because that's the thing that's gonna be the longest to cook. And so we'll let that go. Let me grab my spatula, because I'm gonna need that here in a minute. Okay, so I'm gonna let these potatoes brown. I've got pretty much everything else ready to go. So when you come back, these potatoes will be ready to go, and we'll add the rest of our stuff, and from there it's gonna go really fast. Okay, so my potatoes, they look like they're gonna be soft enough. I'm gonna test it. Easiest way to do that is with a fork. Just kind of pierce one. My fork goes in. There's a little bit of firmness there still, and that's good because I still have a little bit of cooking to do. So I don't want it to get to the point of it being soft yet. So now I'm going to add my mixture of onions, summer squash or yellow zucchini, whatever you call it, and mushrooms. So we're going to toss that in the pan, get that going. And you know, my oil is pretty much gone in the pan. So this is the perfect time to add these vegetables. Because they have water in them, they're going to just automatically add some more moisture to the pan. So there will be no need for me to add any more oil, especially since I'm using a non-stick. If I was using something other than non-stick, I may have to use an extra teaspoon of mine. So there's a tip for you. Invest in a non-stick. It's going to save you money as far as, as far as using your oil, because oil's not cheap. And it's going to save calories. So calories being, of course, the most important of those two. All right. So protein. What am I going to use for protein? Let me show you. I have cut up 2 pieces of turkey bacon and just chopped it up really tiny. We are allowed 4 for one of our red containers, but I'm just going to do 2 because with the other half of that, I'm going to add a half of a red container of cottage cheese. And let me warn you, I wouldn't suggest cooking cottage cheese, but what I love to do is after my dish comes out, adding it in there and stirring it up, it just gives it this nice, creamy, rich flavor. So that's what I'll do after it's off the heat. So this part of the cooking is not going to take long at all. We're just going to stir this around, get the vegetables nice and soft. And you'll kind of be able to tell because they'll be brown and the onion will smell really fragrant. So I'll return to you in just a moment and we will add the rest of our ingredients. Okay, vegetables are nice and brown, maybe even a little too brown, but I like mine pretty brown. Now it's time to add the rest of the ingredients. So spinach cooks so fast, you'll be amazed. Throw that in there. Turkey bacon into the pan all at once. Stir it around, and again, the turkey bacon has just a little bit of oil on it, and the spinach has a little bit of moisture, so it's just going to add a little bit more to the pan, so no need to add any more liquid or oils. I'm going to let that chill and hang out in there while I measure out half of a red container of the cottage cheese. And that looks perfect. And that used up the rest of this giant container. I went to Costco yesterday and my refrigerator is busting at the seams. All right, now this is not in my account, but I am going to assume that 4 cherry tomatoes will not throw me over the edge and make me go off my diet or gain 10 pounds. So guess what? This is the only thing I would suggest that you could cheat a little bit on is vegetables, because they're vegetables. So of course you can overeat on anything, but 4 extra cherry tomatoes is not going to be a big deal at all. So we're gonna cut those up. Nice big chunks. Let's see how this is doing. All right, actually, I think this is ready to go. Just that fast. Now I haven't really seasoned it, and that was my mistake. So I'm gonna toss in some garlic powder. This is a free food, and it'll just make it taste even better. I'm gonna cut the heat. I'm gonna add some pepper. And I'm literally just going to do a tiny, tiny bit of salt. There, just a little. All right, heat's off. This is done. I'm going to actually not put it on a pretty plate today because remember I'm going to the hospital, so. Woo! Gotta love those Tupperware avalanches. I'm sure I'm not the only one that happens to. Okay. So here is the final dish. Toss it in here. You know what? I have a second thought. Normally I would not do this, but I'm concerned that my breakfast is going to be ice cold because this cottage cheese is ice cold. If I were to eat it here at home, it would be okay because I get it fast enough that the cottage cheese wouldn't make it cold, but I have a feeling that I need to warm it up in the pan real quick. Now I'm going to tell you, to be honest, the cottage cheese does not help the appearance of this dish. It doesn't make it look more appetizing, but it just tastes so good that I'm willing to sacrifice appearance for taste in this instance. May not be Instagram ready, but all right. So there we go. I'm just going to toss the tomatoes on top. To be honest, actually, that looks pretty to me. Here's your final dish. And I haven't named it yet, so we'll see. I'm going to take a little bite on camera because I like to be real with you guys and let you know if it's gross or good. So we'll just take a quick bite. Got to get a little of everything in there for the bite. It's good. It reminds me of a dish I had as a child that was way worse for me. My mom always called it Molly's potatoes, and it had lots of things in it that I shouldn't have right now. This certainly gives Molly's potatoes a run for its money. So there you go. Mom, you should try it. Have a great day, you guys.